district number 7, right? But that's not all, right? Because she's the chair of the Progressive Caucus in Congress, right? So she's a champion for all the causes that we hold dear. And I want to tell you, there is no one fighting harder to deprivatize Medicare than Pramila Jayapal. And there's no one, while she and Bernie Sanders working as hard as they can to get us Medicare for all. Please give a big welcome to our friend, Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal.
Take back our Medicare, strengthen and expand it. Yes! Now listen, I want to first start off by saying thank you so much to my dear, dear friend Jeff Johnson, to PSARA, to the entire coalition of organizations that are here. I will tell you something, when I'm in DC and my good friend Alex Lawson is here from Social Security Works, we work so closely, thank you Alex. When I'm in DC, people say to me, do you know this coalition of organizations like this group PSARA? They are so amazing. They are right on this. They are leading the work. And I will just tell you that all of these organizations that are here are really looked to for leadership across the country. And so many of the creative ideas come out of here. And I just am so grateful to all of you. So let's give it up for this incredible coalition of organizations. A big shout out to my sister who is up for election for the county council today, Teresa Mosqueda in the House. And she's been such a champion on healthcare and on Medicare for all and so many other issues. Now listen, most of all I want to thank you all because this fight for Medicare for all, for an expanded, really expanded Medicare for all that allows us to get the healthcare we need when we need it, without copays, without deductibles, to stop the private insurance companies from privatizing traditional Medicare. You are the reason that this fight is even happening. You are the reason that this is something that people are paying attention to across the country. So I want to thank you for being out here. Give yourselves a round of applause because this is democracy in action. That our healthcare system is broken. This is what I ran on when I first got to Congress. I am so proud to be the lead sponsor of Medicare for All in the House of Representatives. Yes! And the reality is we live in a time where the average American spends more than $12,000 per year on healthcare, and more than half of Americans, both insured and uninsured, hold medical debt. How is that possible in the richest nation in the world? A time when the thought of medical debt is enough to just stop people from seeking care. One of the things that really surprised me is I started looking at what happens when people actually get into Medicare at the age of 65. Cancer rates spike. You know why they spike? Because there's so many people before they get Medicare that never go to the doctor, never seek assistance because they can't afford it, because it is not possible for them to do that. So they wait for Medicare until they can get to see a doctor with that coverage. But although Medicare is critically important to our healthcare system and one of the most popular programs in America, we are here because we know that it is under serious threat. And I just want to make one thing very clear. I will fight the privatization of Medicare tooth and nail. You will not see me do it. And they have all kinds of pretty named programs that they're putting out there. But let me be clear, whether it's ACO REACH, whether it's Medicare Advantage, these are privatizing Medicare. And they need to be ended. They need to be ended. These are programs that trick people into getting worse coverage for more money. For almost 2 years, I've been calling on CMS to end the Trump-era ACO REACH program. And while we've made some strides on it, we are really, really disappointed that it is still going. It is still going. They've ended some of the worst pieces of it, but the reality is it is still a way for those private insurance companies to get their teeth into your Medicare. So the reality is that we've had some wins. It's only because of this movement, but CMS has not yet heeded our call to end the program. And I think it's important that we recognize that there's another big threat, has been for some time, and that is Medicare Advantage. Now, we've had a tectonic shift on Medicare Advantage. When I got to Congress, there was a letter that went out every year, in fact, led by and signed by many great progressive colleagues of mine, to expand Medicare Advantage, really talking about what a great program it was and why it was important for seniors to have. And this year, we were able to do something really different. With our 103 members of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, we were able to work with our partners and our allies to do a whole panel that educated our members about what Medicare Advantage really is and how it takes advantage of seniors and pulls you in, and once you get in, you can't get out. And all of a sudden you are trapped with coverage that costs more and delivers less. And for the first time this session, we were able to stop that industry-backed letter. It did not go out. Our colleagues did not sign on. And instead, we were able to get a letter of our own with dozens and dozens of members of Congress because of the work that you and this movement did across the country to get people to say Medicare Advantage is privatizing Medicare, and we will not stand for it. So, 70 lawmakers signed on agreeing that we need to enforce prohibitions on Medicare Advantage plans denying prior authorization requests. 70 lawmakers said that these Medicare plans should cover any medical provider that accepts Medicare and covers care. And of course, we need to hold Medicare Advantage accountable for increasing care costs. Just recognize that if we took the $46.5 billion with a B, that Medicare Advantage programs overcharge the government for, we could plow that back into expanding Medicare. We could give people dental, vision, and hearing. We could eliminate copays and deductibles instead of subsidizing these private insurance companies. So momentum is growing for us, but you know, I'm not gonna lie to you, we've got enormous mountains that we're fighting, and a lot of it is big money from big private insurance companies, but we are starting to move the needle. And I'll tell you how I know that. This year, we have almost half of House Democrats as original co-sponsors on the Medicare for All Act. And we have members of Congress who represent some of those big private insurance companies who are for the first time talking to me about signing on to Medicare for All. That is because of you. That is because of you. And we're not done yet. We have a lot of work to do. But right now, we have a Democratic White House, we have a Democratic Senate, and we don't have the House, but there are things that this administration can do to make sure that Medicare Advantage does not privatize traditional Medicare, and that we continue to expand and grow Medicare and ultimately get Medicare for all. Because healthcare is
a human right.
Healthcare is
a human right.
Healthcare is
a human right.
Thank you all for being a part of this movement. Let's get this